Congressman Greg Murphy, Republican from North Carolina. He's a former member of the Board of Trustees at Davidson College and hosts an annual campus free speech roundtable as well. Congressman, it's good to have you. You know, some universities have tried a hands-off approach with these protesters to de-escalate. Others are calling in the police. What do you think is needed to actually bring down the temperature?
You know, Markey, this is in some ways a little reminiscent of the 1960s, but in other ways it's absolutely different. In the 1960s, they were calling against a war. Now we're having marches and protests against a people, promoting genocide. And so, you know, I feel for some college presidents, but the problem is, you know, everything comes back to haunt you when you've let such a liberal environment occur where there are no repercussions for actions. And now we're seeing some college presidents finally being pushed to the fact that they have to now enforce the law. Sadly enough, law-abiding citizens are now, you know, having to go online for their studies. Look, as far as I'm concerned, when the college presidents set a deadline and you're not there, then you should be arrested and taken off campus because then you're trespassing.
Yeah, and a lot of these demonstrations canceling graduation for these students who have looked forward to that for so long. I mean, the Jewish community is frightened as well. You bring up the 60s, you know, but Congressman, we didn't see these types of clashes happen when Russia began invading Ukraine, when there were bombings in Sudan or even Syria. Why now? What is this telling you?
Well, I think we have just a much more Islamic sympathizer group in the country now than we've ever had before. And, you know, I've seen the videos of what happened on October the 7th, the butchery that occurred by Hamas. You know, they are a terrorist organization. And just like when Japan attacked the United States, they were given a chance to unconditionally surrender, and it took 2 atomic bombs for them to finally surrender. Hamas has been offered the opportunity to surrender, and they have not. Thus, the Israelis have every right to root them out. But now you see such a, I don't want to call it a criminal element, but such an element of anti-Semitism that is now reeking on college campuses and here in the United States. It's really repulsive to see these people being showing such hatred towards the Jewish people.
And as I mentioned off the top, you're someone who hosts free speech roundtables yourself. You know, where is that line between allowing the exchange of ideas and free speech and needing to protect Jewish students?
Yeah, and I think that's an excellent point because I do promote free speech rather than, you know, what's gone on so many college campuses of self-censorship. And, you know, you remarked at my college now, I'm glad to see they're not doing that at Davidson College. Don't know if that would have happened with the previous president, but unfortunately this president's not doing anything or enforcing the law. What we're seeing now is not free speech. We're seeing hate speech in its true definition, where you're calling for the death of other individuals. That's not free speech. That's hate speech as it's truly defined. So there is a very, very firm line in the sand in the distinction between free speech and hate speech.
Yeah, that crosses that line, and enough is enough. We are also following closely as the House may vote this week on that campus anti-Semitism bill that would make some of that speech and those chants punishable by law. Congressman Greg Murphy, always a pleasure to have you, sir.